Hey Bear, look at this thing. I can't see what she's doing.
It's gonna be, I think we're gonna take three days to drive back.
3 days
Three
to drive
days.
back.
All of a sudden I'm Australian.
Friday morning, I'm getting ready. It's my summer white inspection at work, so hopefully I pass.
So usually things don't get too hairy around here. The worst it gets is like maybe mom's in the shower and both the babies are awake and I'm feeding one and the other one starts crying. That's usually the worst that happens. So Brad was getting ready to head back to work. He came home for lunch and I was feeding Lyndall. He put Bear beside me so I could kind of entertain him while I was feeding Lyndall. Mom was in the shower. Everything was under control. Brad left. And then I hear this really loud noise coming from the kitchen, and I hurried up, set them both down, came into the kitchen, and water is coming out from under the fridge and spraying out the sides. And so I immediately call Brad and I'm like, how do I shut the water off to the house? So that is the situation there. And here, while I was waiting for Brad to tell me how to shut the water off, I just turned that lever because I thought that would do it. And then I see water coming out under here. So I'm like, I think I messed something up by turning that lever. So I turned it back. He explains that the lever right here is the one that you turn to shut the main water off. Did that, the water stopped. Now we have towels down everywhere. And the good news is the underneath side of the fridge is clean now. But what happened was the hose to the ice maker came undone. So then water was just spraying everywhere, and now we need to figure out how to get that hooked back up, which I think we have figured out. So that's been exciting. Not ideal, especially when mom was in the shower and I had both babies and one of them was eating. So that has been our day so far. What do you think, Lyndall June? Was that scary? I know, Bear, it's okay. We got it figured out. Yeah, yep. Don't worry.
It's good.
We're gonna have ice. Yeah. What's really funny is about a week ago, I noticed that the ice cubes were like smaller than normal and the edges of them were clear instead of cloudy. And I just noticed it and I was showing Brad, I'm like, the ice doesn't look right. This looks weird. I was like, should we look into this at all? And he was like, no, I think it's fine. So I wonder if that was related. I love being right. Unless it's something like this.
Hey, look what we got in the mail from my parents. I've loved you since forever. By Hoda. Aw. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Had to pull out Rachel's Mommy in Waiting book here. It's pretty awesome because today is actually the 1-year anniversary of the embryo transfer.
It's your transferversary.
Happy anniversary, Lyndall.
Happy transferversary.
Yay!
He was
She's like, what's that thing?
frozen 1 year ago. You were frozen.
Like Queen Elsa.
Is it Queen? Yeah, I guess she is Queen. So in here I have all kinds of pregnancy mementos, including this baby. These babies.
Who's babies?
I don't know who's who in this picture.
That's funny.
I know. But look at you now. Look at you now. You're getting paper.
Exactly. Holy cow. Dang.
Mom just had a giant fish. Is it the one, Mom?
That's huge.
Could be.
Dang, Barb.
I know.
That's a trophy fish.
Come closer. Yep. Come closer.
Lisa.
It's got to be some kind of record.
Smile.
Need to send it to Robert.
So we wanted to rehash the actual day of the official embryo transfer. Rachel, take it away.
So their embryos were frozen. So they had been allowed to grow for 6 days before they froze them, and that happened about a month and a half before they thawed them out for the transfer. So these guys were considered snowflakes. They call them the embryos that were frozen, and they survived the thawing process, which was like one of my biggest concerns. I guess that it's possible that that won't happen.
But there was quite a bit of drama on our way to the clinic that morning. So we thought we'd left with plenty of time to get to the clinic. The clinic's in Charleston, which is about an hour and a half drive from here to where their clinic was. And on the way, like 20 miles before we get to Charleston, there was tons of traffic and we were at a standstill. And it turns out a semi-truck had hit an electrical line or a pole, and the line was across the road.
So like they wouldn't let cars go either way,
And poor Rachel, so like before they do this transfer, they want, how much water did you have to drink?
I don't know.
Something
a lot.
ridiculous,
It was
yeah.
like two
It's like-
and a half full water
It was
bottles.
like 40 or 50 ounces or something.
Yeah. Without using the restroom, because they need you to have a full bladder so they can see what they're doing on the transfer.
So poor Rachel has to pee like a racehorse.
Well, I had like timed it out. I knew that I would need to start drinking like halfway into our ride. So I had started and got through like 1.5 water bottles, and then we're sitting still for like a half an hour.
And then we're gonna be late for this like hugely important procedure.
The biggest day of our lives. And so we called the clinic and let them know, and
Yay, we're gonna be a little bit late. And they were really nice about it. Like, okay, well, you know, get here when you can.
but that was really, it was really stressful.
Yeah.
It could have been really stressful, I think, but like you were good about keeping me calm, and
Yeah, I do that a lot.
yeah. You're good
So
at
we
that.
get to the clinic and they kind of go over the procedure and what they're going to do. And then they take Rachel, actually they took us both back to change into scrubs. And then they took Rachel into the room, did a little prep. I'm not sure what they did. Do you remember?
Like, well, first she did the ultrasound and saw that my bladder was overfull, which is good because I was not going to be able to withstand that amount of pressure for the 20 minutes or whatever the procedure took. So she let me go, like, relieve myself a little bit, which was really a blessing.
Yeah. So after Rachel goes to the bathroom, they set her up on the table and then they bring me in so that I could watch. And it was neat because
They verified our identity like 1,000 times.
yeah. So there was a window of like where the embryologist was, and then like through the window he handed the embryos to Dr. Slowey, the endocrinologist. Is that what it's called?
Reproductive endocrinology.
Yeah, the endocrinologist. And then he inserted them, and Rachel and I held hands, and we watched it on the TV screen, the entire thing, so we got to see the procedure being done in real time.
It was really cool.
Yeah, so it's neat. And then that was it.
We got to see, yeah, like the embryologist was in the room next to us, and he was looking at them on a microscope. So like they zoomed in on the 2 embryos, and we got to see them. And the picture that we have of them was when they were partially thawed out. So like I guess it's good for the embryo to expand to the whole shell. And by the time we saw them up on the screen, they had fully thawed and were ready to go, and they had expanded really well. And so Dr. Sloy was like, "Oh, that's a really good sign. They expanded more." So that was cool to see. And then once they had transferred them, they had to make sure that none of them were like stuck in the line or anything. So there was a few minutes of waiting to make sure that they weren't left behind. Nobody was left behind, and they were both where they belonged. And that was what was cool, is like the nurses and the doctor just kept saying, "Well, they're where they belong," and
there's nothing that you can do that
we'll mess
would
this up.
ruin it.
Yeah.
Like sneezing or something.
Or yeah, exactly. Like you,
Rachel, don't sneeze.
right? Yeah. Oh my
Children
gosh,
are gonna fall
that
out.
pressure would be horrible. Yeah, he was really good about telling me that there's nothing that I could have done to mess it up. It's. What were you gonna say? What?
He's like, you guys are boring. Hurry up.
Yeah. It's their job to do the rest. And they did it. You guys did awesome.
And here they are.
High five.
So happy 1 year anniversary, guys.
Yeah. So that is our story.
So if you want to get like up to the date, up to the minute pictures, follow us on Instagram. I'll put our link right here. I'll also put in the iCard link to where you can watch the video, you can watch the drama unfold. It's like one of our first like vlogs.
Yeah, I'm going to go back and watch it.
We were what, like a month into vlogging or
yeah,
whatever?
we're probably pretty new at it.
Yeah, so that should be funny to watch.
Yeah.
Hit that like button if you enjoyed what you saw today.
And subscribe if you want to keep watching our story unfold.
We just figured out, what, 2 weeks?
2.5 weeks and we move across the country.
2.5 weeks.
It's going to be, I think we're going to take three days to drive back.
3 days
Three
drive
days.
by.
All of a sudden I'm Australian. And we're going in my parents' RV and like staying at RV parks and splitting up the drive back home. But we'll definitely have cameras rolling for that because I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah. Luckily, these guys have like hit a wall and they're sleeping. We'll have to talk about that in the next vlog. So we're kind of at a free-for-all at nighttime right now anyway. So it'll be good to get back to their new house and get a routine started there.
Totally.
Yep.
All right, have a great week coming up.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, Bear. Look at this thing. I can't see what she's doing. Ouch. Cats.